You have to realize. That's the
Catherine Scott. Oh, video aware, that's like some video aware. Might take video.
It's my accent.
Video aware. Yeah, I have done a video aware before.
I think you say
We'll go ahead and get started. I want to welcome everyone here, especially welcome our guests from the Transportation Department, District 5. Thank you for joining us tonight to talk about our roads. And as always, we'll go ahead and call the roll to order. We always say the pledge and open in a word of prayer. We all know lots of folks in the community that need our prayers, folks that have lost loved ones. I know last meeting mentioned Joe Stone, my preacher actually. A lot of folks know him. He's at the nursing home now. He's still battling, but wish him the best. Anyone else that would like to remember tonight? All right, Jim, would you mind opening a word of prayer, please?
Father, we're so grateful for this beautiful day you've given us, and we're especially grateful for the rain we had this past week. As we always do, Father, we ask for your guidance and your wisdom as we come together tonight to make decisions for the county. And we pray that these decisions that we make will be in line and proper with your way of thinking. Father, we ask you to be with those that Scott mentioned that have lost loved ones and that are sick, and Joe's in the nursing home. Just be with him and comfort him and bring him back to health if you see fit. Father, be with us as we go through this meeting. Guide and direct us, and we do this. Ask all this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Would you only salute our flag?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, if you would call the roll, please.
Squire Stump.
Here.
Squire Ferris.
Here.
Squire Eldridge.
Here.
Judge Travis.
Here.
Squire Travis.
Here.
Squire Cotton.
Here. All right, we're all here tonight.
Is this pertaining to anything? It was sitting on my desk.
No, that was an earlier meeting today, so, you can read it. It was an earlier meeting today.
I need to go to sleep later.
I'm gonna move, let me just ask, is there anyone in the audience that'd like to speak on the communications with citizens? I know I'm kind of going around a little bit. Is there any citizen to talk tonight? James Allen, we'll let you talk anytime you'd like to talk, if you'd like to talk tonight.
Yeah, I'll just, Judge Travis, members of court, it's always good to be here tonight. Yeah, I knew the District 5 Transportation was going to be here tonight, so, we work real hard at trying to fund transportation in the state. It's a challenge. Even though we've seen more revenue come in, you understand the cost of everything is going up so much that money does not go as far. And most people may not realize we've actually got a reduction in the state tax on gasoline right now, which is when it's like, I think it's 2.1, something like that, 2.1 cents. It's based on the wholesale price of gasoline. So the higher the average wholesale price is, the higher the tax on gasoline is. With the reduction in prices, we have seen a decline. But again, roads are very important. I hear from a lot of constituents like you all do. So I'm anxious to listen to the conversation tonight on the flex fund spending. Hopefully we continue to move forward to improve our road situation for our citizens here in Spencer County.
All right, thank you, James Allen.
You're all good.
We may have some questions for you as we have this discussion. And that's what I was going to move around and go ahead and invite the District 5 Road Department folks at this time. We'd like to get you in, get this. And then also resurfacing a part of that road. We
we resurfaced about 3 miles of Kentucky 1795 Mill Road from basically mile point 0 at Kentucky 44 to mile point 310. And so that work resurfacing work was done about a month ago. And so we delivered what we thought we were going to deliver, and that's good news. Okay, so what I'm going to do is talk about the 24-25, fiscal 24-25 program. It's on this long sheet that some you guys might have a copy of. I'm just going to walk through it. It's kind of cryptic, so it's probably good if I just talk through it. And so we had $105,416 left over from last year, and we got an initial allotment for the fiscal 24-25 year in the amount of $990,607. So we add those up together, and our starting funds to run our rural secondary program is $1,096,023. Okay, and but before we can talk about resurfacing specific roads, there's funds that come off of the top of that program. And the first being, and a significant thing, is that some of that money has to be used to pay routine maintenance and traffic for state forces to go out there and do things like patching potholes and removing snow and ice. And we have about 70 miles of rural secondary roads in Spencer County. And so the cost per mile is about $7,000 a mile, so that ends up being $495,300, so we have to take that off. So that leaves us $600,723 to work with. Another item that comes off the top, which is good for the county, is that the rural secondary program probably 8 or 10 years ago started carving off what's called flex funds for local county governments. Some of this rural secondary money can be set aside to resurface county roads. And it's the choice of the counties to whether they want to use that money or not. And Spencer County, I understand, is going to be using that money. The amount is $148,591. So we will take that off of our allotment, and we end up with $452,132. There is one more carve out that's called a judge executive expense, and it was discontinued 2 or 3 years ago, and it was a $3,000 or $4,000 expense that the RS money was allotted to the county judge for his participation in helping us coordinate the program. But newer judges aren't getting that because of House Bill 241, so we don't have to skim that off the top. So our money available for projects is $452,132. And so the first project we'd like to propose is finishing up some work on Kentucky 1795 Mill Road. We ended at mile point 3.10 last time, and we want to carry that from there all the way to Kentucky 636. That's about 2.9 miles of resurfacing, and at a cost of $233,892. That's just our estimate. But that leaves us another $218,000 or so to do an additional road work. And the second project we'd like to propose, which is in the central part of the county, is Kentucky 1633, which is Elm Creek Road, and we would propose to resurface that from Industrial Road to mile point 3.72. Our cost estimate for that was $222,958, and so that leaves us a little bit of a negative balance for next year. But again, that's an estimate, and we don't really know what the cost is. Our plan is, if we can get concurrence from the court fairly quickly, we would advertise these projects, these 2 paving projects for construction this fall, and with the stipulation that they be done by July 1st of next year. And so that really concludes what our presentation, unless you have questions.
What do we got to do to get that 1633 done this fall?
It's terrible.
Well, the best we can do, I think, is, number one, the fastest way to get a concurrence is to get a resolution from the fiscal court, and that's the way you guys do it. So the quicker we get that, the quicker we can put it in a a bid document. But some of the resurfacing work is a little bit out of our control. You know, Matt may have some comments about if we can expedite it or not. I'm not exactly sure. All we can do is get us the resolution as quick as you can, and we'll try to get it out to bid as quickly as possible. And typically, I think last year, these projects went out to bid in October 26th. So, but the resurfacing just got done about a month ago. We could possibly put a completion date, a sooner completion date in there. We're subject to not being able to pave over the winter time, so there's some.
Yeah, 40, 42 or 46 degrees and rising is when you gotta do it, something like that.
Well, we have to ask Scott, one of our construction guys, that's out of my ballpark.
But, well, it's usually around the deer season, when Mago does our blacktopping, and we're doing a lot. We got 500-some thousand worth of blacktop jobs we're doing this fall. We're using budgeted money in addition to the flex money, and we got some of the, what used to be discretionary funds, and we're gonna put all them on the ground this fall. So we're really trying to make a difference. And the residents, I know Dan lives over that way and has to drive on that pitfall road daily, but of all the complaints, that road has probably got more complaints than any road in this whole county since we've been in office. Probably times 10. So, I mean, I don't see any problem at all tonight with us making a motion to approve the two proposals of the Mill Road at the 233 and change range, and the 1633 at the 222,000 and change.
When we make that resolution, how's that process work? Because when we made the resolution for Mill Road, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm almost certain it was like 4.1 some miles, and then when y'all resurfaced it, it turned into 3 miles. Where does that change? Did somebody make that decision?
It shouldn't have changed. What I turned in and what was proposed to you guys should be what they paid.
I don't think it was, but I don't have the information, but what we make that last July?
Well, I know you guys came to us a year ago.
About a year
That was
ago.
the first time we did this. So it was last fall sometime, but
I was just curious how it changed, or if it changed. I'm not gonna say 100%, but I think it did change.
So do you have a resolution y'all want to vote on?
I don't have one in the packet, but just by us.
Having an example
Minutes.
last year, if you want, I don't know if that helps.
Yeah, sure. Thank you. Yeah, there you go.
Judge, can I ask a question?
Yes.
Where does that industrial road start at? Is that where it comes out of Sweet and Bottom? Where's that?
You beat me to it. Yeah, I was gonna
That's
ask
it. Is
it.
that where it comes, it starts there? Is it going toward Woodrow Hill and then that direction there?
Yeah, I think it'll come out on 155, correct? It's not going down to the left and going down the hill.
The reason I started there is because I knew I wasn't gonna have enough money if I started 44, so I started there, cut off a little bit. That's probably the best part, that first section. And that way we could get the worst section out of the way.
Was it going
And
all the
next year
way?
we'll finish it.
Is it going all the way to 55?
Yeah.
Or Hill Creek Road finishes right here?
I actually figured it all the way to the back.
Yeah, we did this a year ago on the, 21st day of August of last year.
They don't have no miles minutes on that, does it?
No, this is basically, we're approving their recommendations. But we'll get a, we move and pass these two, we'll put it in the form of resolution. You'll have this tomorrow for lunch.
Sounds good.
On your desk, and we'll be looking for the trucks.
Okay.
Okay. Likely. All right, entertain a motion to approve the completion of Mill Road and the portion of 1633.
So moved.
Second, we have a motion by Zach, and second by Mike, to approve the recommendations of District 5 to complete basically the surface of Mill Road and then to surface a portion of 1633 from Industrial Road to 155. Is there any discussion? All right, hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion passes. We will get a resolution to you tomorrow, be similar to this, and we'll decide to get it to you.
Sounds good.
Sound good.
All right, thank you for having me.
Does anyone have any other questions for any of the other fellows
I
over here?
got one little thing. I know I said something when y'all was here last year about getting these trees cut back. And I know, I spoke with the local, and it's like falling on deaf ears. But we got 1060, 1169, 1319, which is Dale Lane, Plum Creek, Plum Ridge. We all operate big trucks. We got semis out here farming and everything. You can't drive and stay in your lane without taking the passenger side mirror off your truck. And those trucks are expensive to replace the mirror. And I said something here last year, and y'all said y'all look into it, but I haven't really seen a change in operation as far as.
They're out every day. He's
Well-
got a crew mowing every single day.
I don't care how high the weeds get, I need the tree limbs cut
No,
back.
I'm talking about real mowing, and that's exactly what they're doing.
Well, I'm not seeing it in my district, so I'm just passing it on to you
Do
guys.
you have particular roads we can write down?
1060, 1169, 1319.
My secretary is taking
Yeah.
them. Say it again.
What was the last one?
1060, 1169, and 1319.
Okay.
Thank you, I appreciate you guys, I appreciate everything y'all do.
I do know you're out, because I saw you over on the Normandy the other day with the mower on tracks. I mean, y'all was
Yeah,
like,
there's been days they've had both out. They've had the John Deere real mower in, but they're running the John Deere real mower pretty much every single day.
And I didn't mean to come
No,
off,
no,
they wasn't good,
I
I just,
understand, trust me.
there's I'm
I
getting,
understand.
I drive a big truck too, but there's a lot of other constituents in my area that, I mean, and I go down there and I'm like, man, this is bad. I mean, we got stuff hanging over the road. And the thing is, they cut it off on the side, but they don't account for a tall truck. It's 13.6. So if you're in a passenger car, it looks fine, but then if you're in a semi, it smacks you in the windshield. Because you're a lot taller, so I just like for those considerations to be passed on, but it needs to be compliant for all.
And they try, they reach as high as they can, you know, at a certain point, we can't go any higher, but they can do 13, 14 feet.
Thank you.
Sometimes they cut a little more than what, they tear a lot of stuff.
They could just cut all the trees down, just peel them back about 10 feet off the road, would hurt my feelings.
but, no, we thank
Thank
you
you very
all.
much.
Yeah.
And we are happy to get the bridges on Plum Creek. I know we got the one at King Sturts last year, and then we're getting the one there at Plum Creek.
Oh, I'll be glad with that.
Yeah, he actually lives right next door, so, but,
When is that supposed to be done? What, one foot's fair to the next one, the next one's foot's fair to the next?
No, I'm laughing
I see like they're moving along, so they got the pillars up, so.
yeah. And I'm sure they'll do like the other one, they'll probably haul in the beams, and I mean, once they set the beams and pour the floor, it'd be pretty quick, I would guess.
I don't know for a fact the completion date, but given what you just said, where it stands right now, it's probably the end of this construction season, which is usually November 15th, December 1st, something like that.
They got the concrete pillars up.
We're thankful to, you know, we know that we have learned government takes some time. And we've had to learn to appreciate the patience that it takes. And, you know, at the same time, you know, we hear from the vocal constituents, but we understand. And I'm learning to understand more every day. But we're very thankful for what we do get. So, thank you. We'll get that resolution to you tomorrow.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you all.
Yeah.
Was there, do we have any information on the Old Getty Bridge? I thought that we were gonna talk about that one.
Yeah, well, that's us. That's,
Well, I mean, that's them.
no, it's county.
You know anything
road.
about
Yeah.
Old Bridge?
Is it something
They're
you're gonna
asking.
put in for the county bridge funds?
It's a FEMA project, it's an old heady, which it's on a county road, but we're working through the FEMA project.
Is it the one that's right at the county line?
Yeah, it's out that way, it's close to Jefferson County.
Wilsonville Road.
Wilsonville.
You know where the Hope Cross from Wilsonville is? You just turn left there, go back to Old Getty.
It's a washover bridge, and the guy got washed off and drowned. And the previous court, which Jim was on, they got the ball rolling to get it going, and we're continuing it. And we are gonna take action a little later. We gotta borrow money, because FEMA don't pay real quick. They do pay, but they don't pay it instantly.
But don't they do it on reimbursement only?
They do, right. So we were going to discuss that a little later, but we are getting that bridge replaced. So, all right, thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Somebody that wanna hurry road.
Yeah.
It's on time, it's on time.
It's,
Both of the bridges out there.
it's in the works. I mean, I think James Allen, it's in their 6
That
year.
bridge you're speaking of on 44 where they had the accident, it's in the 6-year plan for 2030.
Yeah.
So it's a ways
Now,
out.
which accident, there's been many of them.
Well, that's where Scott's son-in-law, dump truck grain trailer accident out there. And I drove through there every day, just in a regular vehicle, and it's tight.
Yeah, real
But
tight.
it is in the 6-year road plan for 2030.
Yeah.
Hopefully, maybe we can nudge that along.
And I mean, we have a lot of projects in the 6-year plan. I think it was 120 or, no, 140 some $million possibly. I was so proud of James Allen representing as well. Shelby County, as large as they are, we're just a little more than what we, I think they got maybe 160, 180 million, and we had close to 140. I think
It pays to have the chair of the Senate Transportation Committee represent Spencer County.
Yes, it did. It did. So, but we got lots to be thankful for and happy about, and we'll continue to work. So, all right, do y'all have anything else on, kind of on District 5 and state roads? All right, we'll kind of go back to our original meeting, get started on it. All right, next on the agenda is the approval of the minutes from the 9/4 meeting. I have some deletions that I would like to suggest to the court that we make. Page 9, turn to page 9. I'd like to delete that entire page. There's no action in all that conversation. On page 15, at the bottom of the page, this is when we were talking about the election worker and pay and so forth. I was going to strike that, all that at the bottom, the narrative where it says the clerk remarked that she was asking. And then on the next page, the top paragraph, all the way down to where we made the motion. In fact, the motion accurately reflects what was in the information that was presented to us. All that other is just, it's commentary and wasn't relevant to us making that motion. So I would like to strike that, is my thoughts, and I didn't have anything else.
Motion to approve with those corrections.
Second. All right, we have a motion by Mike, second by Zach, to approve the minutes with the corrections of deleting all of page 9 and the bottom of page 15, and then the top portion of page 16 down to where the motion was listed. Any other discussion? All right, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion passes. All right, communications from Judge. I got 3 things, and I'll try to be brief on them. You all may have seen on the news where that in Spencer County we had several dogs that we gathered up, and I've actually got great news about, I guess you call it great news. Good news for us and good news for the dogs. But we did gather several dogs at one location, from puppies all the way to older dogs. I think the number was beyond 30. And the good news is that we gathered them up, and we had a rescue that's going to take them and do all the medical bills for them. And we've all, as of maybe yesterday or even Saturday, 20 some of them I think got delivered, and so they were in and out of our system very fast.
Well, thank you to whatever rescue
We're
that
very
is.
fortunate that all that worked out. So anyway, I wanted to report that. 2 other things. I was at the city meeting Tuesday night, and there was discussion about the parking lot that's behind the chamber building that the city purchased. And that really needs blacktopping, and I know you guys know that it needs blacktopping. If you don't, go over there and look at it. It's falling to pieces, and I know it belongs to the city. And I did not speak for the court, but I did suggest to the city that if they were interested in repaving this, that maybe we might be interested. So you all can say heck no or not, or we can see what comes about. I did ask, I asked Todd to see if Mago would see how much it would cost. And I know that the city has pavers also, but they're supposed to get prices. And I just think it would be worthwhile that we come together and get that blacktop, because the AOC uses it, all the community events use it, things that we do and others do, and it really needs to be paved. And then another issue is that, and
Is that behind the school? we're talking
no,
about?
well, right out here, right behind this building.
Oh, that big parking lot.
That big parking lot.
by the county
Buses
church?
used to park it all the time. Yeah, see, the city bought that from the school, and, so I just pitched that out, and I told them that I can't speak for the court. I was just at the meeting. I know Dan and I have been to several meetings, over the past several months. And then another issue that they, had discussed was, when they do have Oktoberfest, that, a lot of people have generators because there's not electric service. So we were looking into what the cost would be of KU setting a pole and then putting some outlets in a box that can be locked up, that'll be unlocked like on Oktoberfest Day, when you have another festival like the Bicentennial. If they have anything at Christmas, anything, that electric could be there. And then also Daniel, that our maintenance fella, there are outlets all around the courthouse, but a lot of them weren't working. When we had our Bicentennial, they weren't working. So he's looking to get all of those working, because they're already there. Part of them, the switch was tripped. Of course, if it's tripped, it's tripped for a reason. Somebody tripped it or there's a problem. But he's going to check that all out. But just want to tell you guys that I was making those suggestions. And before we spend any money, by all means, I'll come to you and we'll discuss it then. But just trying to make the place better, basically. So, do y'all have any comments on any of that?
Just that if we're gonna pave that parking lot, part of it, I'd like to see is pay maybe that parking lot beside the courthouse there too, because we'll maybe get the price on what that would cost.
Why don't they give us the property and then we'll maintain it?
Well,
My opinion on that is the city owns it, the city should take care of it. That's fine.
Well, it's kind of along the same lines as what I was saying there, Jim. Why don't they just give us, if they ain't gonna maintain it, why don't they give us property, we'll maintain
Why
it.
don't we ask them to pave half of our new animal shelter lot?
Maybe we can borrow
It's in
it.
the city.
Or just hook the water up for free.
well, and that's the main reason I went to the meeting, was to discuss that, because we've got the appraisal done from, getting, the school had to have that appraisal to get the water meter and the sewer hooked up. So while I was at the podium, that was one of the main reasons I was there. I said, we're ready to get that done, and we've got to get with Charlie Tishner, because he had the paperwork, I think, drawn up. Of course, we'll get with Corey too. And I mentioned Harold and Steve Biven, Harold Compton, the public director there, that we're ready to hook that up. And we'll be getting with you to get a meter set. And I mean, the understanding originally was they were going to provide the meter, and then they would hook us up. I think that's right. Is that right, Dan?
Yeah, they were gonna hook us up for free.
Yeah.
Free water and sewer service.
Well, not pay the water bill, but hook us up.
No,
No, they never did agree to
no, they
that.
didn't ever agree to it, but that's what we.
I know, they never agreed to it, but they did agree. I remember, and I told them,
Yeah.
I said, I believe that you all agreed to, put the meter in and all that for us.
It's a small price to pay, they won't pay our water bill for us taking all the gas and stuff.
Well, true. So,
Just point it out.
but anyhow, I brought that up to them about that, so, I'd forgotten, I didn't make a note of that, so. That, or I know Mr. White is ready for the water and the sewer, about ready. I mean, we need it there, so we're in the works on it. Anything else on any of that, and then we'll get started in our for everybody in the meeting. The health department tax rates. We'll get way over in there.
What page you on?
38. Basically, they're here, we don't have to take any action. All right, and then they actually they put their minutes in there along with it.
I got
Now, on page 43, parks. We discussed at our last meeting about getting an agreement together. Y'all might not believe this, but Corey and I will attest to it has really it's been the busiest of the goings on in the last 2 weeks, probably of any 2 weeks that we've been in office. And so I don't have the agreement, but we have had communication with the Soccer Association, and I believe that they have a donation to do like the 1660 on page 43, and also 4990. And if you turn to the next page, like park rules, they were going to put that on a sign, which I thought $49.90 was a lot of money for a sign that has all that on it. But they had that donated. I guess that includes the poles and all. So if you all would like to read through that, in our office, we kind of thought that what's on the bottom maybe wasn't necessary.
That's what I was
You talking
just
about
about
the
to
police,
say.
the police remember?
Yes.
You're not able to abide by the rules.
I just had a quick question.
Yeah.
They're gonna post these rules, and it's like their rules, but like, I don't know if we have any park rules in our county thing, and then they're talking about, enforcement action, call the police, this, that, and the other. How's that gonna shake out?
Well, I mean, it's pretty, it's pretty, I thought, not real forceful. It's just kind of polite things.
I thought it was fine except for the bottom line, man.
No cursing, be respectful, help us keep the restrooms clean. First aid kit located in the concession stand.
Well, I guess what I was saying is like,
We're since you'll be asked to leave.
yeah, I don't think it needs all that verbiage. I think you just need a list of rules and go on. You don't need to be spitting out some enforcement action. It's not in our policy. These rules are not. We don't have any park rules that I'm aware of. And either we need to adopt these rules into our county policy, and then are they gonna be enforceable? Is there gonna be a fine attached to them? Because really, I mean, I know as the police, they show up and somebody's being disorderly, that they can make them leave, but if this says, look, they're smoking here and they're not supposed to be smoking, so what? From a law enforcement standpoint.
Well, I mean, so tonight, looking at page 44, if you don't like the bottom part, we can strike it. And if you don't like that last sentence, we can strike that
I don't
sentence.
see what's wrong with the last sentence. I mean, if you're, we see on the news all the time, all these parents fighting with referees, kids, and all this stuff. If you're gonna act that way, then there ought to be a rule that says you're gonna be expelled.
That falls under disorderly conduct, covered in the KRS. I just don't know the park rules.
But if you got parents yelling obscenities and stuff, you got a bunch of 5- and 6-year-old kids out there playing,
I'm
games.
okay with the rules. I just didn't like I didn't like the last line said, talking about our
Oh,
police
yeah.
don't need to use it
Yeah,
at equal
that's-
time. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I'm
They
fine
don't
with
need
the
that
rules.
in there. It's,
If we put in that last sentence, if you're unable to abide by these rules, you'll be asked to leave.
Or you may be
Yeah.
asked to leave.
yeah, you may be asked to leave.
You will be asked to leave.
I just say may. I don't like to pigeonhole myself.
You can replace it with may if that suits everybody.
But I agree
Who knows
with,
what I'm talking about?
you
Well,
don't need
also the no
you don't need
cursing.
the line about the police in there.
I would say instead of no cursing, please refrain from.
That's what I'm saying.
As silly as it might be in person. If it's
That's what I'm saying. That's some of this stuff
county
is.
part,
Yeah, you could phrase it differently.
please refrain from cursing.
We need to have Corey go over these, make sure that they're where they need to be, where it's fine.
Well, So, I mean, well, let's,
I mean,
is the cursing the one? Please refrain from cursing.
Yes.
All right. Because they're ready to order these signs, and they're just wanting us to tell them to order. So please refrain from cursing.
It just kind of caught my attention a little bit when they're already starting to mention the police on the last line. I'm like, so now's the soccer association, all of a sudden they're gonna be the Waterford Park Czar, and they're gonna, and Andrew's gonna be getting 5 calls a day to go down there because somebody put a dirty diaper in the wrong trash can or something, you know.
But anyhow,
Concern.
so if we change that cursing to please refrain from cursing during sporting events.
Thinking of you.
And then, if you are not able to abide by these rules, you may be asked to leave. And then what about the last portion down there, please remember? Yea or nay?
Nay.
Nay,
I'd say
general consent, strike him out, I think.
Yeah.
Is this on the same sign, I guess? or-
Same sign.
yeah, I would have to be.
All right. So, all right, so I've got those changes there.
I think we ought to, you know,
Have a contingency for us to review with our local ordinances, just to
Yeah.
applies.
Okay.
Because otherwise, I think the
start putting up rules.
That's what I was saying, we need to look at the county code, just make sure there's nothing conflicting.
And, well, what we can do, just for time, so we're not here all night, is, but
I'm okay with like, if we vote on it with the stipulation, as long as Cory doesn't find anything conflicting in the county code that's already in place.
with the changes that were mentioned.
With the changes that were made.
And then what this is an offer back to them that we would approve if they want to spend their money on these signs. And it's still not attached to a lease agreement.
Right.
When they bring up the lease agreement, I'm gonna say, what we agreed to, if y'all wanna do the signs, you can.
Right.
We don't have a lease agreement yet. So,
I'll make a motion to approve these signs with the noted corrections that the judge made pending the county attorney's approval as it compares to the county code.
all right, we have a motion by Mike, second by Zach, to approve of these signs that the soccer association is volunteering to provide with the contingencies and the changes that were mentioned. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion passes. Then,
Before we move on,
yeah, go ahead.
Typed up a quick resolution about the transportation cabinet rural secondary program, that way it's in writing. Resolution approving projects recommended by District 5 maintenance staff for the transportation cabinet for the 2024-2025 rural secondary program. Whereas it be beneficial to the traveling public to perform routine maintenance and resurfacing of various rural secondary state roads located in Spencer County, Kentucky, and whereas District 5 maintenance staff of the Kentucky Transportation Cabinet has made a listing of recommendations for projects in Spencer County as presented to Spencer County Fiscal Court and attached to this resolution. Now therefore be resolved by the County of Spencer that in order to benefit the traveling public, Spencer County Fiscal Court hereby approves the project recommendations made by District 5 maintenance staff of the Kentucky Transportation Cabinet for the Rural Secondary Program for the 2024-2025 fiscal year as contained in the attached list, which is herein incorporated by reference as if fully set forth herein, approved at a regular meeting of the fiscal court of Spencer County, Kentucky, the 16th day of September 2024.
For you, son.
Thank you all for that. And we'll get the sign there also, please.
Let's go with it.
Just go with it. I would, should we? Just something as a caution. I mean, there's a motion to approve, but there wasn't actually a second
I'll
resolution.
make a motion to approve the resolution just read by the county attorney.
Okay, well, Lynn, we got a motion by Mike, seconded by Will, to approve the resolution that was just read by the county attorney pertaining to the rural, the District 5 presentation about doing the 2 roads that were listed. This goes with the resolution, the rest of it. All right, have a motion and a second, it's on the floor. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion passes. Thank you all for getting that. I liked how he kept saying, you know, if y'all get a certain resolution, we'll get right to work. Well,
What resolution?
we can do
What I was
that.
thinking when you said that. So. We got it.
So, all right, that takes care of that. The basketball leagues, Brian has got them going, and that brings us to another subject. Y'all remember when we discussed, we gave a donation to the fairgrounds, and then we gave them a cash donation, and then we were going to put in a water meter and run to the building, and then we get to use the building all winter. All right, that's a goal. An archery, mom and dad were in today asking about it, and he does plumbing work. And that was another thing I mentioned at the city meeting. I asked Harold, he said there's a 6-inch line that goes all the way to the top of the hill, and there's a fire plug up there where they take money. So we ought to be able to put a meter right there beside that fire plug, and it'd be pretty close. So we're gonna follow up on that, get that done this fall. But we will have that room, you know, at the fairgrounds will be available for the archery club. What they do, and it works good for them, it's school club. It's best, they want to practice at their school where the parents don't have to bring them somewhere extra, because they stay after school and they have practice. But they can only get it to school one day a week, one evening a week. So they needed another place to go so they could do a couple times a week. And then they have wrestling teams, and just, there's lots of folks that will use it. And Brian and I discussed it'd probably be tough playing basketball in there, but
If it opens up the gyms for,
yeah.
I think it's a good idea.
So, but we have that to utilize, is the big point I want to make to you guys. So, good work in progress. On page 45, and I think another page, there's minutes from sanitation district meeting. We don't have to take any action on those, just for your information. So that takes care of the communications portion.
Just one,
Yes.
one thing, I just wanted to remind everybody that listening at home or in here, the tire industry is this upcoming Friday and Saturday.
Yeah, thanks, Mike, for that. That's a good reminder. And they are taking tires that are on the rim and off the rim. And please check with us if you've got a weird tire. But they will take farm tires, tractor tires, and it's from 8 to 3 on Friday and 8 to 3 on Saturday. And it's free to Spencer County residents.
Did we determine when it was gonna be at the road barn or at the fairgrounds yet?
Well, it's supposed to be at the road barn. I know the pamphlet said fairgrounds, but they'll have a big plywood up there to tell you where to go. I mean, if we get too many, we may have to move next door, but we'll see. But thank you for bringing that up. I didn't have that included anywhere. Under old business, I brought up, I put down animal shelter. I've got some bills. We finally got some bills on the animal shelter. I think there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3. I think there's 4.
We got 3 right here.
Just 3.
Yeah.
All right, there's 1. And then there's 3 going that way, and then I got 1. So, now, I did not get in the paper for the kennels. So, apologize for that. We talked about that last meeting. Nor did I find what we needed for the kennels. So if y'all have those drawings anywhere, bring them by.
What were you referring to?
The kennels that are outside of the animal shelter,
I think last meeting, Jim said he had them.
Yeah.
Everybody's got them. Doug White's got them, 2 or 3 sets of them.
Okay, well, I have,
I mean, you need a set?
I need a set.
Okay, I'll get it.
We couldn't find, nor did I have time to dig, and I apologize for that. But anyway, we can get a set of that, so we can advertise. We put it in you gotta put it in on Thursday to be in the paper next Thursday. So we'll get it, if we get them to us, we'll get it in this week.
I'll get it to you before you leave tonight.
All right, good deal.
So the change order for that drain is $4,400, that's what I'm saying, right?
That's added to 2 new drains on the outside.
Yeah, to the outside of the kennel.
And they'll all be tied together, inside and out. It goes into the, oh,
So I got this by email, and I figured, I give you a copy of that, of course.
Yes.
You got, that we probably would need a motion to pay this bill as we go. I know we where we put the loan from RECC in, you know, we have funds to, without an issue. I think that's best practice, Doug, that we move to pay these bills.
Now, that's fine, we got enough in the account right now to pay this one, it's 90,000. Some, I think there's 100,000 there right now, but we also got the budget amendment. Next court meeting, probably that'll put the remainder.
Yeah, the money into it.
If they raise that elevation 1 foot, did they not bring the block up with it, that the metal needs to be longer?
what metal you put on.
Well, if you look on this back page, it says building cost price increase due to 1 foot elevation increase and metal price increase. Why would we pay an increase in metal price? We signed a contract for a price, they can't change the price of the metal.
Right, and there was one in there about lumber, is that same one says lumber and metal?
I see lumber, but I'm not looking to pay more because their material went up, unless we signed an inflation clause, which we didn't, that I'm aware of.
One thing that I could think of is if we was, when we changed the elevation, we should change, we should have changed the size of the wall.
If we had to change the elevation, the block should have come up.
Yeah.
Well, the block did come up,
Or was it increase for metal for it?
but, I don't know.
Increase for city and metal price increases.
I don't have that in front of me.
It's on the back of the second page.
Yeah, it was,
Change order number 2.
I think the 4,400, we're gonna have, that's a change order. That's
I'm good with that change order.
Legit.
This looks like it's an increase
I,
in price.
I agree with Will, you know, if we sign the contract for X amount of dollars to build a building, we're not responsible for price increases of metal or lumber or anything.
No, unless
If-
that comes.
If it's not in the fine print of this contract that says that.
It shouldn't change the shell of the building. Shouldn't change the shell of the building.
If there's an inflation clause or something, you could
Yes,
get it there.
I understand.
Metal ain't went up that much, that's pretty shady business, if that's what that's for. That may be something totally different, but I'd like to know.
Is it, that number 3, equipment and labor, rock underneath the drain, is that 460 going in with the 4,400? I mean, is that additional with the drain?
Change order number 2.
That was gonna be my next question.
So they actually charging 48.60 for the drain?
Or not, no, almost 10 grand is what I'm looking at. Furnish and install 4,800 feet of drain. For kennel says 4,400, and it says equipment and labor to rock.
That Dixon plumbing there at the very last page, that's giving you the quote for you.
Oh, it says 460.
Yeah, but I think the
We agree to first.
general contractors adding on to the 460 for the rock.
Yeah, I think 4,400 plus 460,
Yeah.
and 15% equals 5,589.
Well, if, you know, I would think that we need to, if you all have a question about the 1942,
I can't charge it.
that,
I have a question,
yeah, the 1942,
yeah,
what about anything else?
the drain's been high, but I mean, it is kind of what it is.
I mean, I wish I could charge over $100 a foot.
What about the change orders on the, I guess on the 3rd page?
Are you talking about these change orders now?
This one. Yeah,
Where's he at?
this page.
It's got for the underground electric.
And I know Jim and I was having discussions on a lot of these as we were going along. And, you know, like the extra rock, they had to put the rock in when they raised it up. And then the electric, and put it underground, upgrading 3-phase. So
Do we need a three-phase?
Do we need three phase? That's a good question.
Animal shelter?
Are they welding in there?
It's,
The tool that shop?
it's better than single phase.
Okay, I mean, unless they're running like some heavy piece of like machinery in there, I mean, I don't see
I
why it's
believe that has to do with the
X-ray
HVAC
or
system.
something?
Made right, the HVAC, I mean, this
We're
was,
gonna use, it would work more efficiently on a three-phase versus a single.
What only, I mean, wouldn't that heavy lift pump have to run all three-phase too?
No, there ain't no head space there, I mean, I wouldn't think so. I mean, for $1,900, you got three-phase, I can't really argue about it, but.
No, it's in the area that you might be.
but I guess what I'm after is, if we have a question about the $1,942,
I think it needs to be resolved before we make the payment.
well, we owe this other.
Put a surface
I
on
mean,
it.
we should probably pay this other.
We should pay everything.
I mean, if you see what's going on,
Yes. I mean, that's what I would suggest,
That's
because
$100
so far we haven't paid anything.
Well, I'm making motion to pay everything on there.
I mean, shouldn't that be like maybe 4,000?
All right,
I mean, I wish I could charge you for it.
we got a motion on the floor. Is there a second?
What is the motion?
The motion was to pay the,
Pay everything except for that 1942
until we get some answers.
to get some extra on that increase.
Does that include his, taking up 90,000?
That's the 90,000, well, that's minus the 1942, that's included in this 90,000.
I think there's $20,775 is in addition to the 90, right or wrong?
I'm considering it a addition to, the way I'm looking at it. So it should be like, altogether it's like 27,
27 and 31,
28.
Well,
almost 28, yeah.
well, if you,
Okay.
I got some questions about this, like, well, some of these prices seem like they're pretty dang high, and I tell somebody, what to do, but like, is he like getting the best price, or is he just calling us?
well, we traded with this guy for an original contract, y'all remember, 528. And that'll include a lot of these prices. And yeah, it might be a different price than what we can get working for folks, but we did agree on the 528.
So he's wanting a payment of 90,025, that's it.
I was just talking about the change order.
Well, he's expected to pay for the change orders, I can tell you that.
And, at a minimum, we need to issue this fellow a check for $90,025.70. Because again, we haven't paid him any.
Well, I would strike my motion, and that's what my motion will say, we pay him the $90,025.70.
I think
The first part of the motion.
Including this, because if you
That's
see
his
there,
first draw.
it says 62,006. If you add them two numbers, you don't got a calculator on.
I think we should pay him for the change orders for 20,775, because we agreed on that as we went along, and then the 90,000 is his like draw, what he's done so far.
I mean, it's all gonna be applied to the 528.
Well, the 20,000 will, it'll be added on to the 528, because it's a change order. So we got 90,000 plus 20,775.
I mean, I guess we'll say,
The 1900 for the rock, yeah, and
Do
metal
we-
prices.
do we have the right to like, go back to the and say, look, you can make these change orders cheaper, you can find a different contractor or somebody that's gonna do it cheaper.
Well, I mean, we've traded with this fellow to do a job for us.
Well, we traded with them.
All right, hold up, that 90,000 he's asking for is not, the 90,000 he's asking for, so his original draw, if you look here, the original draw, his first draw, like the bill says, 62,1875, he's asking for his first draw plus the change order comes to 90,000.
So they
Both change orders, it equals 90,000.
Yeah.
So the 90,000 includes the change order?
Yeah.
Okay, good enough.
It's 62,000 in the original, and the rest is all change orders.
Get the 62, 618.
So your original motion would be sufficient because it's all of them but the $1,942.
Yeah.
And we'll get a clarification on that.
Good.
All right, so you want to go back to the original
I'll go
motion?
back to the original motion.
But I know we traded with this guy, but like, if anytime we wanna change something, do we just swallow whatever price he says it costs?
Well, I'm not gonna say.
I know you're-
I'm just saying, that we're all in businesses here, and we would do the same thing. If we had a change of work order on your job that cost you more and they knew it, you give them a price, they're gonna accept it. Whether they say, oh, you can't do it, yeah, they can argue it, but.
Well, they're gonna argue
They're
it,
gonna change their mind.
and you either don't, you do the change order or you don't, but, I mean, at this point, we don't accept it, it's done too far. The only thing I've got a question, was just metal increase.
Yeah.
I'm in agreement with what Jim said.
All right, well, we got a motion on the floor
One second, Zach.
to pay the draw and the change orders, but not including the 1,942 until we get some clarification. A motion by Zach, seconded by Dan to do this. Any other discussion?
I'm gonna say yes to it, but I kinda in there with Mike too, and I think you're Jim, y'all are in communication with this guy, I need to say something about these change orders, because it's,
All right,
I mean,
we'll do it.
that's really not acceptable, and this was for my personal project. I moved mine.
I said, don't worry about it, I'll find somebody else to do my change orders. That's cheaper. We'll do it myself.
All right, we have a motion on the floor. Any other discussion?
Yeah, we can take that over, we got that.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion passes. Thank you all. We'll get that paid.
I'm afraid he's got us on the hook, man, that's our dollars.
Well, I don't think so. I don't think so. As long as we keep open communication, everything will be great. Everything will be fine. All right, page 48 under new business. We did put in for, I ain't gonna say free money because it's taxpayers' money, but we did put in to get a couple of projects, and one is the repair of, on Masters Lane, and the other is repair on Yoder Tipton, where it washed out at the bridge. If y'all haven't seen that, but we got funds to do that, and it's listed here on page 49. You can see how much we got. What they're gonna do over the Masters is they're gonna get a company to come in and reline it, so you don't have to dig up the road.
They're gonna sleeve it like they did in front of Bland's house?
I didn't pay attention to what they did at Blaine's house. Is that what they did?
They put the PVC pipes through it and then blew them up all.
So, but they're gonna fix, because it's pretty big there on Masters Lane. But the good part is we applied for this rural road aid and we got it. So,
So we need a motion to, what?
no, it's already done. But anyway, it's for information, you guys, but we got $63,980, and I think Doug they sent us the first draw on it already.
And we've got the first draw of 31,990 going to
Yeah, but what that is, they have $80,000 when you have an emergency. You can apply for it, and anyway, we got the money, so we can get those fixed. Jailer, new hire. I didn't write the page down, but I know it's right here. 52. We have new hire. Jailer is asking that we hire Sam Satterley to do transports. So I know Sam's already on the fire department, right? So
Assistant Chief.
assistant chief.
Motion to approve pending hiring requirements.
All right. You know what all those are, Darrell. He has to do he should have to do hiring requirements if he's working for us. Background check and stuff. So, all right, so we got a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Have a motion by Zach, second by Jim, to hire Sam Satterley as a transport deputy for the jailer, pending hiring requirements. Any discussion? All right, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion passes.
Did we lose someone that was transported, or you just needed another guy?
Just need more help.
All right, Robert?
Good evening.
Evening.
So, a few things first. The new ambulance is ready, our fees have been paid. It's going to get inspected on Thursday, and then it'll be on the road. So, we've been kind of at the will of some vendors, waiting on some stuff, so we finally got everything. Come Thursday, it'll be rolling along.
You'll see the pink ambulance out making runs.
It'll be out making runs. So far this year, we've collected $168,361 for the months of July and August. And as today for September, we're at $51,967. And according to our billing company, our projected collections currently sits at about $1,010,167.80. That's kind of what they're projecting for this fiscal year we're going to bring in.
And part of that will be having, because we haven't been over that million before, I don't think.
I think last year we barely
broke it.
close to it, maybe.
But having that new ambulance and us, we don't have to make those calls. And have we had to call anyone yet during when all three are on the road?
As of today, no. The only time we've had to utilize any kind of mutual aid has been after 8 p.m. That's when that truck's already out of service and
Right.
at home. So.
But see, we will have an increase in collections because we're not missing those we have to hand off.
Right, and I spoke with them today, and they're going to be doing some auditing of our rates and make sure we're kind of where we need to be. Our rates right now, we may be, I don't know when our last audit was looking at that, but some of those amounts might need to go up, so we might be coming back to you to put maybe a resolution to change some of our collection rates. Run volume from January 1st to today, we're currently at 1,547 runs. The same time frame last year, we were at 1,400 something, but our run volume is up about 6% as of today. And in the previous year, it's up about 22%. So run volume's going to keep going up, and we're going to keep making the runs. So. You may see in your packets the resignation from Junior Morales. He spoke highly. It was a transportation issue. He's driving from Georgetown. They only had one vehicle, and it was kind of an issue driving back and forth. So his last day was the 8th. We've conducted some interviews, and we're recommending Beth Owens to fill his position at $18.62 an hour, and Joe Dillon part-time at $15.80. We've already got all our background checks and drug screens back already.
Hiring requirements.
We don't use that language.
Hiring requirements.
Sorry. We have our hiring requirements back already.
I'll make a motion to approve hiring both Bethany Owens full-time, 12-hour truck at the rate of $18.62 an hour, and Joe Dillett part-time at a rate of $15.80 an hour, pending that all hiring requirements are met.
Second. All right, we have a motion by Mike, seconded by Zach, to hire the two individuals that were just read in the motion at the prices that were read, pending the requirements. Any discussion? All right, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion passes. And in case the community is not aware, Chris Limp is planning to retire at the end of the month, and we wish him the best. And Robert, we appreciate you as a deputy filling in and taking care of tonight.
Yes, sir. So that's all I have.
And Mr. Renner, thank you for coming tonight.
Thank you.
Robert.
Yes. Is there any chance Junior is going to be part-time?
Who?
Junior, the one with this term?
I asked him and he declined.
Okay, I just want
Yeah,
to make
he
sure.
gave me the option, he just declined. We ain't losing, he was great.
Yeah, okay.
He's all the way.
Yeah.
He's all the way.
Well, probably, but so we've got a lot of, there's people on the list.
Yeah. All right, good deal. Thank you all. Next, we have an estimate for road doors on page 55. I know you guys, you all seen pictures where we got broke into and the doors tore up, and I think the doors were the doors there from the 80s or 90s. That don't mean that they're any less valuable, but they're bent up and tore up. So I asked Daniel to get us some quotes. We had some quotes, and then we got some more quotes because I thought they was pretty high. But, so we do have this, and
This one.
yeah, it's a lot.
Well, I don't know if I asked the last time this got brought up, but I'm gonna ask again just to make sure. Don't our insurance take a little push or kick into this
Well,
at some point or some of this?
I can't give you that answer. I remember us talking about it, but I know we couldn't follow up on it.
Right,
So, but I can follow up on it.
Well, I think before we approve that, we should,
Well, we definitely get doors up there, fix what's up there, but I think we got insurance, well, I got insurance.
But also, you know, you guys know that when we,
That's all.
and Doug can tell you, whenever you use your insurance, it gets more expensive. But I know that's why we have insurance, I do agree. So, so do you wanna wait contingent on if insurance pays, or you want us to get more bids?
I would like to see if it's,
All right.
see if
Well, well, we're gonna have to replace them anyways, I just think we just need to follow up with the insurance and get it paid through them, but this is the lowest bid we got, I think we can vote on the bid, I think the only thing we just need to do is make sure the insurance stuff pays for it.
Well,
I think it ought to be run through the insurance companies.
Okay, well, okay,
That's just
they
me.
may wanna handle it too.
all right, well,
okay.
we'll
I'm gonna roll the
have
bids again, so.
8,600 for 3 doors, that's labor and all. That doors with deadbolts and striker protectors.
Did you ask Daniel about if we just bought the doors and we put them in, or we didn't wanna do that?
I mean, we've been discussing since the doors got tore up, and this is where we've landed as of today.
And just fixing the big doors too?
No.
It's just all.
Just the man doors. But we will follow up and get more information for next meeting.
What budget you ask, where's you get?
What's that?
Do we need to replace the the big doors too?
I mean,
Did they get tore up?
I mean, whenever I was up, I don't think it got tore up, but I mean, it's not in the best of shape. It hasn't been in a long time.
It still closes and locks. You know, down the road, but again, down the road, and Corey, I'm not creating more work, actually I am. You know, down the road, if we did upgrade the facility, you know, if you could spend a bunch of money on doors, we got to fix these doors here that are tore up. I mean, they're still locking them now, but,
I still say, you know, if I start from here on out putting, giving Todd, you know, $10,000 a year in his budget to do his own building maintenance, as he sees fit, things need to be replaced and fixed, and he could use that for whatever he needs.
well, but you know, we didn't need these doors until they got tore up.
Well, I'm talking about, but
He may had already invested that money and then the door still got tore up. So,
I'm saying, if he had that money in the budget, he could replace his own, big doors, and this should have been on this.
yeah, well,
Our deductible, I think it's $1,000 of insurance pays, so we'll pay $1,000.
That's $7,600 cheaper.
well, we had there's something else in here that I read that we had a claim on, I think. But anyway, I'll check on it. Let's see, all right. On the next item, at the last meeting, we were discussing turning lanes to turn into the pavilion area off of 155. And I reached out to Hagan Engineering. They came back on page 56. And that is only a right turn in, right turn out. So then the discussion got into what a full turn in and turn out would cost, and if it would be allowed there. I believe everything landed that it wouldn't be allowed there, but we could put it could be put a little further up the road. But then we go back to the scenario of we would need to own the land before we would make the investment of that. So that kind of put us back to where we are on the land behind the pavilion area anyway. Good news on that, I do have one, I had to get those appraisals. We got one of those back, and I should get the other one this week, so we can close on that land that we've been working on for a bit. So, of course, it only had to appraise over $1. You know, wasn't a problem. I think the one appraisal was $166,000, the one I got, and then I've got another one coming. So, anyway, we would have to do something similar to that if we did choose to, and Mr. Sweezy is interested in giving us some more land if we wanted to build another turn lane in off of 155. So this is a conversation I think for another time, but I'll just give it to you right now.
Give it to
For information.
us, buy it for
Yeah.
$1.
Buy it for $1. But that is an option going forward, and we are looking, and it could turn into, you know, the economic development portion. As far as getting somebody to pay for it, we'd have to work on that. obviously, but, you know, and it could be something that we build, and then when lots were sold, we could recoup some of the money, I believe. But I'm just putting all this in here for information purposes right now. If y'all have any questions about any of that, I'll try to entertain them.
When you talk about the executive session.
We can, yeah. And we can get the weeds on an executive session if we need to. All right? All right, item number 6. This is what I was talking about with when District 5 folks were leaving. This Cape Leasing Trust, I'm not prepared to take action on it tonight because I want you all to read through all of this and so that you can come up with questions. But basically, I know Doug and I and Coach James Allen can guide me if I'm missing out on anything. But Brittany and Karen Clark and myself and Doug, we met with Lonnie Campbell. He is with KCO, and him and the other fellow came to us and was giving us options on if we did need to borrow money or do bonds. All right, the way this bridge is going to work, like I explained, when it's built, there'll be a company building this bridge. Of course, QK4 is working on it, and they are at the point to where that this time next year they'll be building this bridge. Could be wrapping it up. This bridge should be done maybe a year and a month or two from now. But they have went through the processes and are at the point to where they'll be ready to bid out a construction company to do work on this bridge. If they're not exactly at that, they're getting close to that. So the way this FEMA project will work is that we got to front the money, and then FEMA will pay us back. So we don't have $2 million to pay for an overhead bridge. $2.5 million. So
You're gonna pay for 100%.
not 100%, 87.
Is it 80? Okay.
87. We gotta have 13%. So, you know, we're looking at 260,000. But part of that can be match work, and like the investment that we're paying to QK4, and we have been paying QK4, and we have in our budget 200,000 for this FEMA project at Old Getty Road. So we've got the money lined up to do everything we've done up to now. But whenever the construction project gets started, and that's why I'm just giving for information tonight, we've got to get our ducks in a row for that process. So when they start building and they be wanting draws, we got to have money to give to them. So again, tonight, all that information is in there. If you have questions about it, you guys
have we ever done anything like that before, Doug? County went through this leasing trust program?
We haven't had a project this big, I don't think, and the thing is, to borrow money from KCO, if it's under 500,000, you don't have to have a hearing. But as much as this project is, DOG has to have a hearing to make sure we got enough funding capacity and everything else. So it's gonna take a couple extra steps, even if we borrow the money for months till we get reimbursed.
If we were to go down this road, then we need to probably get working on it.
Yeah.
Sooner rather than later.
Yeah, that's why I'm starting tonight.
Our part of that would be 325,000.
13%. Well, the 2.5 million, 2 million are covered. It could even be a little less than that, is what Eric Bean told me. But you gotta make sure you got enough. I mean, it's just, Lonnie Campbell, I think I suggested like 2.25, and then of course you have 2.5 here, but we gotta be prepared. You know, you don't know what'll happen next year. Stuff might be a lot more expensive than they are right now. Have y'all ever seen inflation in this country? Yeah. Have y'all ever seen inflation in this country? So, well, let's hope not. But regardless, we gotta get things ready so we can get this project done.
you say, we can read over, which I did read over, well, I'm sitting here, why can't we just continue this and keep the ball rolling? What do we need to do, what we need to vote on tonight or anything?
Well, I mean.
It's pretty obvious we wouldn't want to do it.
Yes, but you know, it just, I was looking for you know,
Well, I mean,
something to take action exactly on, and it's mostly just, it's information.
Yeah.
So,
It is our best option
well,
for borrowing it.
Unless we have the money to borrow from ourselves, it's the best option, because usually Fiscal's interest rates are better than we're able to get from the banks or anything. That's not to say that if we have 2 or 3 projects put together, as say if we even, with the pavilion project and all that, put together and do them as separate draws is a possibility, even because whenever we get started on the pavilion, depending on how quick we're thinking of go, and how fast we'll be spending the money on it, there may be a possibility to think about putting the 2 projects even together.
What's our time frame as far as starting to potentially bid this thing out?
well, like on page 68, there's an ordinance that I guess we can move to pass this ordinance, but
Well, I'm saying what we need to, what's QK4 saying? They're saying it's gonna be another month before they're ready, another 2 months, and they're saying they're ready now.
we talked about it probably be next year in the next budget. It'd be in next year's budget. So probably, the biggest draw will be after July 1.
Well, I mean, if we're gonna wait till the end, I mean, the HACO runs on a physical year, right?
Yeah, well, right now.
As far as the rates,
until
that's
you get
what I'm saying, so I mean.
the bids in, you don't really know if it's gonna be $1 million,
Yeah.
or if it's gonna be 5 million maybe to do it. You know, right now, we think it's gonna be
2
$2 million,
or less.
so you
That's
almost
not
need to
one,
wait
do
till you
we
get
even
the
know how
bid.
much we gotta borrow to?
Well, we gotta get, you know, again, and here's how it works. You can pay it off anytime, no penalty, and then you only, get what you need. So, that's why they put the bigger number in there, but I mean, I would just, I read through this last week, and I was trying to get an understanding on why are we doing a lease? Why does it talk about a sinking fund? Why does it talk about a lot of things that is not what normally you would think about if you're just going to get a loan? And,
This is probably a generic form that they give everybody for every project. It includes everything.
well, it has to do a lot of what Doug was talking about, because Karen Clark was explaining when they've done them in the past and so forth. But, you know, I could have Lonnie Campbell come and explain to you guys. He's really a nice fellow, and he's been around a long time, Doug said. And if y'all have
Campbell
questions.
used to work at DOG, was our field staff person, and was the head of DOG for a while before he retired and went to work at Fiscal.
But he's the one that came and said that we have 42 million worth of bonding potential. And then they had a rate on the bonds of like 4.3%. And then, but on, if you did a short-term loan, it would be a little higher than that. So when I got these documents last week, and I think they came in a binder with stuff about that thick and had probably 27 Post-it notes where signatures or something had to be. And we kind of decided that we needed to do some more learning, figure out what all that was. But I mainly put this in to bring it to you guys' attention that we need to take these actions as we move forward. We don't have to do anything tonight. Y'all can choose to. I mean, there's this ordinance on page 68.
Well, I'd like to know what the interest would be on it.
Yeah, so do I, so that we can see, I mean, you know, how much, because we're not gonna get FEMA money back for, you know, so long, so what are we gonna be in for every month?
But they hold 60 to 90 days on FEMA. So, I mean, this would really be short term.
I'd figure at least a year.
Oh, hopefully not. Sometimes they are, sometimes they are long, but, I mean, I'm happy, you all read about that. If you have any other questions, come to us, and I need to get some more answers myself. But this is mostly for informational purposes.
And if you do think you want to have Lonnie Campbell come, I think he would come to this report.
Yeah, I mean, We could probably have him at the next morning meeting if he's available. If y'all would like me to get him.
Yeah.
If you have questions. All right, we'll try to do that, Doug. All right. And any other questions you all have with financing, take you some notes, and he'll have all the answers. I know that he will. All right, on page 70, this Centos individuals came, and we were talking and quizzing them about having an AEDs. I know the soccer group was asking about getting them at the parks. All right, and there's a lot to them if you're not familiar with AEDs as far as when you use them, how they're made. But they're made for anyone to use them. We have a Good Samaritan law in this state. As long as you're trying to help somebody, you're covered if you don't exactly know how to use them, I guess. And it's my understanding that it tells you as you do go to use an AED. So our thoughts were to have one at each park that'll be locked inside. They have $130.50 monthly fee for it. If you do buy one right out, I think there's $1,700 you could buy one, but then you have to get it checked and pay for that and pay for that. All right, the idea was that not necessarily that we have to go ahead and buy and subscribe and get these two, but this could be something we could work into these lease agreements with some of our athletic people that are wanting to, lease for $1, that kind of thing.
Well, maybe part of it, let's give they provide an AED.
Right. And then now up here at the first aid cabinets, I believe we were thinking about getting some more of them. I believe they have one at the road department. I don't know, Rob, y'all may know where we got first aid kits, but the idea was to get, make sure we have good ones, and what they do is they'll come back monthly and restock anything that's out of them. But they have the expense there of $440, and that's the cabinet and all its contents. Of course, they just come by monthly, and whatever's gone, they bill you just for that. But again, we're in the fall season. I know it'll be October. When is sports over? November? Not over, but when does it really slow down? Kids, you're right, Sally. The outdoor stuff, when it gets really cold, November. So, we've got a month. It's just a matter of if you guys would like to get some of these cabinets.
Is it possibility that if we buy our own, that EMS could check it and do the information on it that needs to be done to keep it up to?
Anything's possible.
Yeah.
All right, then I'll say let you take it.
All right. Well, let's.
I wonder if you ain't gotta be something certified to check those.
Surely they are. So, but if you all see value and I think we should have first aid kit at the recycling center, the road department. We should have them at our parks. Where else? Do y'all have one, Andrew?
Yeah, Chris got us one last year. We got on the wall in the sheriff's
All right,
office.
good. Yeah, Ms. Scott?
New farmer's market.
Yes, whenever we get that built. Yeah, if any of y'all don't know, this is Catherine Scott. If you'd like to, I don't know if you spoke last time.
No,
Did you?
maybe 2 meetings ago, something like
Okay,
that.
all right. But,
I'm
she's
still
the
here.
new tourism director, so thank you for being here tonight.
My pleasure.
But I tell you what, let's Robert, we'll get together and figure out where we might need them, and then you guys get us some costs. And if they're reasonable, y'all good, we'll just get some.
Yep.
All right, we'll act on it that way. All right, thank you all. That takes care of that. Next, we have, we're doing pretty good, the financial report for August, the invoices, bills, and transfers. And I know Cheryl, there's a bill on there for the jail. And the good news is it's only $36,000 instead of 40-some thousand.
Maybe the people are listening to you.
Yeah, maybe. But stay out of jail and we'll blacktop some more roads. So,
I'll make the motion to pay the bills, make the transfers.
All right,
Second.
have a motion by Zach, seconded by Mike to pay the bills and make the transfers. Any discussion? All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. We will be going into executive session for KRS 61810B for real estate, C for pending litigation, and F on employees. Entertain a motion for that.
Motion to go into executive session.
Second.
All right, we have a motion by Zach, second by Mike to go in executive session for 61810 B, C, and F. This is neither debatable nor amendable. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion passes. I was going to ask Doug to stay while we do one portion of it.
You were that close to getting that.
Feeling the blanket.
We'd already talked about it, it's not the same as it has been, I guess.